Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. Jill. Hey.
Oh my God. Here's another episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we have lots of company today, not my end anyway.
Yes, mine's already in bed and yours are, well, you being in the morning.
Mine are in full swing after just throwing shoes out the window. Like adult shoes, not even his shoes. And he's just actually started wearing odd shoes. Like he wears one green shoe and one brown shoe. And I love it so much. It's like my style. I could totally dig that. Anyway, yes.
Well,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Guess it's about time for us to do our muck high and muck low.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go? Do I go?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
And let's just take the most recent example. The low would probably be throwing all the shoes out the window, which are now in the bushes in the garden, including probably, most likely, near the blackberries and all the blackberry pickles as well. So it'll be a shoe hunt. We'll go on a shoe hunt this afternoon, Queen. Okay. And hi, I've managed to sort of stay on the dishes for the last few days. So simple. And I did get out of the house yesterday.
Awesome.
Went to a cinema cafe, which has a really beautiful vibe. It plays little piano jazz in the background and
cool.
Like got, red branded colour. Had coffee and cake and all the rest of it. So yep.
Cool. That's awesome.
Let's get out. What about you?
Let's see. Low. We're gonna start with today. Was what? Right now we are experiencing some pretty yucky outside conditions. We've been having to stay indoors for the last few days because we have remnants of wildfires in Canada coming down in our air. So the last few days it's been like very hazy, orangey, weird colored environment around us. It's ridiculous how crazy it is. So that's been kind of disrupting our outside time, but we're all good. And a high, I've been keeping the house a little clean, and I cleaned my bedroom this week, and it was so nice and like clean.
Wow, luxurious.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I'd be so much happier if my room looked like this every day. Like it just felt good. And even my husband noticed it and said something saying, wow, babe, the bedroom looks really good. Good job. I'm like, well, you helped.
If you noticed, wow.
Keeping that clean, I might be a little nicer.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to get my office space to that stage where it's like walk in and go, wow. I did do my 15 minutes of declutter this morning and found some weird and wonderful treasures in the process, including like 70s, the 70s style, like old patterns that you got in the paper packets with the models on the outside. Yeah, I found some of those.
That's cool.
When essentially that leads us wonderfully into our next subject, which is Supermom. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a tide? Overwhelmed, touched out, mom.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Back in the day where they used to sew and cook and clean and be pretty much full-time at home at the same time. Yep. I have a toddler who's stuck in a high chair. So you take it away for a minute. while I Supermom over here for a
Oh my
second.
gosh, you really are being Supermom with both of them home right now. But I thought it was so interesting when I was doing a little bit of prep work for our episode and I looked it up online, Supermom, like if it even was a thing, and to find out that it is in the dictionary. Well, it's on Webster's
Really?
Dictionary's website. So I don't really know if in the dictionary, it's just on their website. I have no idea how that works anymore. But it is an exemplary mother or a woman who performs the traditional duties of housekeeping and child rearing while also having a full-time job. And the first known use of the word supermom was in 1974.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
1974. Yeah. What was happening in the 70s?
A lot of people were supermomming, I think.
Flower power.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do think about it as well, you know, post-Vietnam, post-war era again, where a lot of women had either been in the workforce for when their partners, husbands were away at war, probably had very similar situations in First World War, Second World War, like 1910s and 40s. I still think that the pressure has increased over time, as much as our awareness might be better. I can't speak. I didn't live back. I wasn't a mum back in the 70s. Really.
Yeah.
That would make me very, very, backwards. I can't step back in time, but I do feel like some of the pressures have increased.
I agree with you. And I mean, I can only say what my mom had not shown the kind of reaction to pressures in my eyes as a child. Looking back now, though,
Yeah,
as I see myself going through now.
Is that because they didn't want to talk about it as well?
Or is it because I was a child and I didn't know what was going on? Like, she's also not alluding to anything now as I talk about the pressures I'm feeling. So if she's not saying, oh, I felt that too, then did she really, or did she know she even was feeling those kind of pressures?
Exactly. And it becomes a little bit of a political debate, I guess, if we want to delve into all of the details. But I guess I'm more interested in our experiences rather than looking at the history of it right now. Maybe we can come back for another, especially with these two bouncing around in the background.
Oh, I will also say, I remember a quote that I had once posted on social media. I was like, let me go see if I could find this real quick. So I pulled it up too. But the quote was, I've learned that every working woman is a superwoman. And I'm like trying to think of like, what did I write back then? Because it was over a year ago. And my view is definitely different now, a year later. And let's see.
Yeah, and this is an article that I just brought up as well, which basically says, just when we thought society finally understood we're not machines, a new poll revealed that single guys are still looking for a superwoman who focuses on her career, takes care of the home, looks after the kids, and always looks fierce. Fierce. Yep. And yeah, it opens up a huge can of worms. So let's talk about it again. Let's go down that rabbit hole another day. Let's talk about it more in a practical sense of when you do feel like supermom and when you do feel like you're trying to do all the things like the work and the career and the kids and the emotional stuff and self-care thrown in there as well. What usually ends up happening when that image of yourself and belief increases?
I've been finding that it boosts my confidence more. and that I can do this, which makes me feel less pressure until I have a bad day and then I feel the pressure and then I start from scratch all over again, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Building confidence that you can do it all.
Maybe even more that it's not as hard as I feel that it is in my head, or that I convince myself that it is. And I feel confident that I can juggle and maybe have a second kid as I watch you clean
I don't know
stuff.
how this recording's going to come out. I'm like,
Oh my gosh,
God.
I hope we put this out on YouTube so everyone can watch this. Guys.
Mhm. You can't see it. You can't actually see Queen's head. It's just like, oh, now they're both starting.
Oh, I love it.
Awesome. I don't want to be Supermom. In some ways I do, but in other times I fight so hard against that and being like, you know what? No, I don't want to be the one to do it all. I don't. That builds a lot of resentment for me. It builds a lot of frustration. It builds a lot of burnout, and like, we are not designed to do it all. I want to get up on a really high horse and squeal like that.
When you hear the term Supermom, you take it as that you then have to be able to do it all in order to get that title. Is that?
Yep.
Okay. So does that put added pressure on you?
Yep.
Because you were once called Supermom and you may not feel that way because you don't do it all the time, so you're not deserving of that title? Yeah.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. I have one friend that says it to me quite frequently, and I try to believe it because somebody else believes in me, but the whole because I don't do it every day and I'm not showing up as Supermom every day makes me feel guilty for even being proud that someone else calls me Supermom. Yeah.
I'm interested in why we almost have to wear it as like a badge of honor. And I'm also interested in my own like martyr-like tendencies, which I've learned from my mum and her mum and her mum and her mum and her mum, where I do feel like I have to do it all, or I get into a state where I'm like, fine, I'll just do it anyway. Or I use housework as a escape in a way. Like I use it when I'm annoyed, or like the rage vacuum thing.
So you've gotten to a point where you're touched out, you're overwhelmed. Then what else can I do that's going to be mindless, something to get away from the noise, from the chaos, and just go dive right into
something. Not something that's necessarily going to take a lot of brain space, not something that necessarily is going to require all of me to step away completely either. There's so many things that tie into it. There's also how much we are taught as children to find our value from tasks that we do in the house. You know, we are told that we've done a good job if we tidy our room. We're told that's also used as a punishment. Go and tidy your room and don't come out till it's done. Like there's so many ways. Yeah, for those listening at home, you just get half my headphones off. Yeah.
And to that point, Linda, I feel that we are, as moms, having to unlearn that expectation is false in having a healthy mental capacity. Like, it's where we'd like for it to be perfect all the time. It's just not possible.
It's not. It's really not. I was literally cleaning up the lounge room the other day, came into the kitchen, and the baking soda had been taken out of the cupboard and thrown around like snow all over the kitchen, which I just mopped and vacuumed. And like, I just literally wanted to, do that, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
It's you
it's
put one
just-
toy away and 3 more come out at the same time that you put that one away. It's just,
But then we've also talked, and this is where it becomes confusing, I think, for us, and I would say, dare say, lots of other people in our position. It becomes confusing because we know that our mental state and anxiety might be less if there's not stuff everywhere. We know that. I know that. And so it's this conflict and this friction of like, well, I'm gonna do housework as essentially a little bit of self-care, because I know I feel better when I do have a tidy bedroom, when I do have, stuff put away, and I can find it easily. At what cost? At what sacrifice?
yeah, whose sanity are we sacrificing? I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't want to let that one go. It's like, yep. And another change of clothes required.
Yeah.
It's like the third one this morning.
I love it. I don't miss it, but I love it.
She's not usually like a spewy baby. But anyway, today's the day.
Well, this might just be the perfect segue into the ending of our conversation then. Yeah, Supermom, fun stuff. You need to head out to go be Supermom now, and I need to go get some much needed rest after playing Supermom tonight.
To be continued, I believe, this conversation. Indeed. This is one of our more mucked up ones.
Yeah.
Welcome to real life.
We love it, and it's totally worth having these conversations for both of us. So, well,
right. Until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your muck. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.